Okay. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video of me and my dad here in the warehouse. We have the advantage of not having to social distance because we're in the same house, so it makes life a bit easier. If you're wondering why you're looking at the back of my head most of the time when I'm talking to everyone else, it's so that we've got the 2 meters apart. But no problem.
Absolutely.
We're having a dram of Sanig. If you have it at home, pour yourself a dram. I guess it links quite nicely because you were actually tasting the Sanig when we came into the warehouse, and we have a load of questions. So keep them coming in. They're going to be sort of fed to me. If you're wondering why I look at my phone, I'm not being rude. I'm just getting the questions coming in. So first one. Are your sherry casks really made for sherry wine, or were they seasoned for Kilhoman?
No, these were actually made for sherry wine and shipped to us after maturing sherry wine in them.
Okay, very brief.
Yeah. You told me to keep brief. I'm keeping
but so Miguel, who
he makes wine primarily, and obviously then add on to his business has been supplying the whiskey industry with casks. Some are seasoned particularly with the whiskey market in mind, but others do have wineries that they use these casks before they send them to Scotland.
And we've always used this cask, haven't we?
Yeah, we've always used Jose Miguel Martin's for our supply of both hogsheads and butts, and mainly Oloroso, but we are filling Fino. We fill Pedro Jimenez, and we're looking at the Manzanilla casks as well. So, we like to but mainly Oloroso is our core maturation for our sherry releases.
Okay. Are you going to add an age statement whiskey to the core range?
That's debatable. I think we're thinking about that. Whether we need to or not is another matter. It does pigeonhole you in terms of price point. I get why people like age statements, but it's not something I'm looking at the moment. I think we're building the success on the back of what we've got in the bottle. We are giving more information about the age that is in the bottle by putting more information on the label. So let's see. At the moment, no, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to do it at some point.
How is the peatiness in the older casks? So I think there's a question about how the peatiness changes during the maturation.
Yeah, I mean, it gets more integrated with the cask influence, and so as it ages, the peat character softens, and at some point down the line, it will sort of almost disappear. And therefore, from my point of view, the typical age, I think, Kilhoman is at its peak is anything between 8, 9, and 15 years of age, probably. And any older than that, you just lose that punch that you're familiar with when you drink Islay single malts.
And have you experimented with different cask ends? That's, I think it's a suggestion as well, maybe something you'd like to try.
Yeah, I mean, I think European, American oak, and you can have ends of different wood types, oak, but European or American combined, and that adds a different characteristic to the end product. But at the moment, we're sticking pretty much with what we get at the moment. It's doing a good job.
How can US customers get special releases?
They get special releases. I think we do American special limited releases. We do single casks for them. And it's something that we roll out to our top distributors around the world, because we can be that flexible because we're a small company and are able to react quite swiftly to requests like that. And it's important too, because every country has a different way of dealing with their customers and have different ideas of what they want to release.
Okay, and are the sherry casks European or American oak?
They're European.
European. Okay. Is the Sauterne, another question about oaks also, is the Sauterne casks, are the Sauterne casks French oak?
Yes, they are French oak. Yeah.
Okay. How many times are the casks tasted prior to vatting? So how many times are you or Robin tasting the casks, do you think?
A reasonable amount. I think once you get to know how things are developing over the years and the months, you don't have to go back to them all the time. And as you get more experience and dealing with your own casks and the age profile, you don't have to be revisiting them a huge amount. We taste everything before we select the casks that we're using in vattings for Maccabee, Sanig, and through to our limited releases and single casks. But the process becomes a lot easier if you're doing it reasonably regularly.
Yeah. Have you tried any non-sweet wines? I think it's specifically non-sweet white wines, so things like Chablis.
No, we haven't as yet. We have filled some Pinot de Charon casks from the Cognac region, and those are still very young. We've only filled them about 6 months ago. We haven't tried any other white wine casks, and it's something that we're looking to do. But red wines tend to work very well, and I think white wines are just a bit more problematical.
There's a sort of question, I guess, that's similar, and it's more about different types of red wines. So we haven't tried Malbec or Shiraz. We have tried Douro.
Yeah, well, the Douro Valley is where it's a region in Portugal and used casks because they're big and powerful red wines and are tended to work quite well. And to be honest, we work very closely with a cooperage called Dias in Portugal, and therefore accessing these casks has been relatively easy. I would say that any of these big, powerful red grape varieties like Malbec and Syrah could very well easily work very well, and it's something we will look at. But everyone has to realise that it plays a very small part in our maturation overall, and therefore we can't be going and buying all sorts of different casks because we still need to maintain our bourbon and sherry cask maturation for our core products.
And then a question about the Village. Do we change the Village or clean the Village, change the Village when tasting different casks?
No. I mean, no. I mean, if we had to do that with every single cask, or clean it and or have different Villages for different cask types, we'd have a lot of them. And I think you rinse it, you take a sample out of a cask and you put it in the glass, you roll it around, and then you fill
Yeah, there were a few people commenting that you were throwing away rather a lot of whiskey. It's unlikely.
I thought there was a lot of people commenting that I was drinking rather than whiskey.
Yeah, well, one or two saying that as well. And have we ever used Asian, African, or South American oak?
No, we haven't. No, not as yet. It's all been European and American.
Not open to that.
I think I'm open to anything, actually, to be honest with you. I think it's a journey that you take, and I'm open to all sorts of different cask types to experiment with, because I think that's what we need to be doing and showcasing Kilhoman in a different format and getting comments from our consumers, because that's what it's about. You have to innovate, and to be noticed, you have to be doing things slightly differently on an ongoing basis.
Okay, and then the last one from the video in terms of questions was any plans for a 20-year plus Kilhoman?
Yeah, I mean, there will be.
You'll be pretty old, man. We'll be wheeling you into the warehouse.
Well, hang on a minute.
It's only 5
years' time.
Yeah, you'll probably be all right.
I'll still be doing this job.
Maybe the class.
I think at 20 years or 20 plus, there will be, but I think it'll be small numbers. I think if you've known our spirit and our casks that we've and the bottles that we've released, at a young age they're very approachable. They're fruity, they're soft and sweet, and therefore, old age, not for me particularly, because I think it'll just get more wood influence, and therefore it won't have that balance that you're looking for. So yes, if we've got refill casks in the warehouse, second refill casks, and those will go out further, and it'd be interesting to see how it develops. I mean, the oldest whiskey we've got maturing is coming up for its 15th birthday at the end of this year, and it's interesting that's still a great dram. Although will it go out another 5 or 6 years? We'll have to see.
It's interesting because when you taste some of the older stock and you think, oh, that's actually not quite ready, it's not really a disappointment, is it? Because you think, oh, well, it's almost good that it's not ready now, because it will.
Yeah,
it will
absolutely
mean we have that coming good in the later years. Is there going to be another port wine finish?
We've done
well, we have done single cast.
We've done the single cast finishes, and we've done obviously the fully matured port cask, and we will be doing another one. It's something that we repeat. If it's worked really well, we do repeat it and buy more casks, and normally buy more casks, so we got more to release down the line.
And if you like the port influence with Kilchoman, there's the Amburg, which has got a good whack of port in the vatting as well. So that's available now, and we've launched it today, but was sadly sold out on the website. However, if you're in the UK, all of the big online retailers, they'll have it, or they will soon have it. So you should be able to find it easy enough. And if you're further afield, then it will be there, but maybe it'll take a week or two. You weren't talking never, were you? You look like you're bored. How many casks do you release in collaboration with retailers each year? And how do you choose which retailers to work with?
Well, we tend to work through our distributors rather than directly with retailers. In the UK, obviously, we work direct because we do the distribution in the UK. So we work with our distributors who collaborate with retailers, and single casks are always available because I believe we need to be showcasing that end of the premium scale of our single malts. And to my mind, that is the creme de la creme. And we don't sell to independent bottlers. We like to do our own single cask direct from the distillery. And it's something that we continue. I mean, I think it showcases Kilchoman in right at the top end of the spectrum in terms of what you're getting from a single cask strength, everything there, no hiding place, and it's a one-off because that cask can never be repeated. So it's something that we do on a regular basis, and labels are printed, solely for that individual outlet that sells it.
And then numbering of the casks, are they numbered as they come in, or is it a sort of specific system to it? In which case, you would probably be able to say by heart what cask it is or when it was filled. So, like, the system for numbering. Yeah,
the system is numerical from the beginning of the year right the way through, and then we go back to one again at the beginning of the following year. I mean, look, Robin has a encyclopedia memory for what casks have been filled and when they've been filled and where they are in the warehouse. It's extraordinary. I don't, because I'm not really involved in that so much. But he's in the warehouse a lot more than I am, and everything is barcoded now, and we have it on a system, a distillery, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly what it is.
Robin seems to like chalk.
Yeah, he likes a lot of chalk and a lot of ticks, because I don't know what the tick means. It's a code that he has, no one else knows, but it seems to work. I mean, we go dunnage warehousing because we believe that's the best form of warehousing for our casks, and it's a lot of work, but it means that everything's maturing at the same rate, and that's important to us.
Okay, we're going to rattle through these now because we've got not too much longer. So, any plans for a 10-year-old cask strength?
Yeah, I mean, it's when we get there. I mean, or when we got the stock available, we will do one. Yes.
So, Maccabee, Sané, Glockgorm, 100% Islay are all bourbon and sherry casks matured. Do you intend to use all of the other casks for special releases, or will they become part of the core range at some point?
I think there's an idea that one of them might become a part of the core range in the future, but at the moment they're going to be limited releases because we don't want to dominate with these experimental casks at the moment.
SDR is one that you were thinking about using.
Yeah, SDR, the shape toasted retail casks have worked very well, and we will be doing more of those.
A question about the cask auction: which additional casks will come at the highest bid? So I maybe think, which cask of the 5 casks do you think would get the highest bid?
I mean, I don't think they should differ very much, really. I mean, I think that's up to the people bidding, I suppose. And so there's a variety of different casks that we're offering, and we'll have to see how that goes. I don't think particularly one will get a bigger bid because it's a rare cask.
How many casks do we have on site? Is it tricky to keep track of them all? And have you ever lost track of one?
Well, you don't lose track of them, but you might find an old cask that's evaporated a bit more than any others. We've got 9,500 casks approximately on site in our warehouses, and that will actually increase quite rapidly as now we've doubled production.
Was the Amburg supposed to be at a higher ABV?
No, because it was Maccabee 46%, pool cast matured at 50%, battered together or mixed together, and therefore it was an average strength of about 48. So we reduced it to 46. So we had a few more bottles to share with people.
Okay, I'm going to finish these questions. I have three more questions, and then I think we might have to cap it there. Which cast type has surprised you the most?
Which one is? I think for me the Madeira's worked exceptionally well, and the STR is one I've been amazed with because of its floral sort of summer fruit character. So those two maybe stand out for me at the moment. But the cognac finish that we did as an exclusive the other week was exceptional as well.
And will we see a 100% Isla at cast strength?
I would hope so. We don't obviously have as much of that, so it's difficult to tell at this stage because it only represents between 20 and 30% of our production.
Okay. What's your comment on the Amburu? Do you like it? Is the question.
Well, yeah, of course I do like it. Actually, I was surprised how good it was. For something that was a complete mess, cock up at the batting stage, it's turned out to be something that I'm delighted with, and the comments that we've had have been very favourable.
And then in the video, Anthony was raving about bourbon cask maturing whiskey. If it's so good at cast strength, why would you add water to reduce it?
I don't. That's an individual choice, and I think all I'm saying is that high strength, you're kidding yourself. You're getting value from that because of the alcohol content. But because our whiskies are quite sweet and floral, then you're adding only a few drops of water because then it opens up the bouquet. But look, it's an individual thing, and I'm not telling anybody how to drink their whiskey. Just don't add anything else but water. And at full strength, a bit of water helps just offset some of the alcohol content.
Excellent. We rattled through all those questions there.
Yeah.
If you have more, I mean, you are doing a full-on tasting later of different barley yeast varieties as well, and that's going to be a bit more, a bit longer.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to cover any more questions that people have during that. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen.
Kind of you to carve out some time in your schedule.
Yeah.
The next video up for the premiering will be with Mikhail in bottling, and that will be going up at 4 o'clock. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. So we're going to have a look inside the bottling hall. It's strangely, it's one of the areas that people's faces really light up when you're taking them around the distillery. They love seeing bottling on site. And so Mikhail's going to take us through that at 4. So we hope you can join us for the video. As with the previous ones, please comment on the video stream, and then we will ask those questions to Mikhail in the following Q&A afterwards. But thanks very much. We'll see you later.
Toodaloo.
Oh my God, I just don't know.
Wait.